Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Danker. Mr. Danker, are you here?
I'm getting there, sorry. I was in a closed meeting. Mayor Steen.
Present.
Councilmember at Large Anderson.
Present.
Councilmember King.
Present.
Austin.
Present.
Jordahl.
Present.
Hagan.
Present.
Carolyn. Enright.
Present.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
All right, we need a motion for adoption of the agenda with the addition that everybody should have. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 2, we need a motion to approve the minutes from November 7th, 2016.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There are no awards or recognitions, so we go to consent agenda. Number 4, we need a motion for that.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 5 is a resolution under bid openings and awards, receiving bids for fire department self-contained breathing apparatus. Chief?
Honor Council, we received 2 bids for our self-contained breathing apparatus, one of which was non-conforming. So I recommend awarding the bid to Ultimate Safety Concepts, doing business as Clary's Safety Equipment, in the amount of $213,455. And this is for our Assistance to Firefighters grant.
Okay. Council, no questions, comments? If not, we need a resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 6 is a resolution under petitions and requests setting a public hearing for December 19th, 2016 on the adoption of a 5-year capital improvement plan. Tom?
Yes, Your Honor, this just sets the public hearing for December 19th, for which at that point in time we'll go over the city's 5-year capital improvement plan. So just setting the public hearing date.
So moved the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Tom?
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 7 is a resolution granting 2017 off-sale liquor licenses, club on-sale licenses, and wine on-sale licenses. Ann?
Yes, this is a resolution, and it has all of the list of the licenses for 2017 for the clubs, the off-sales, and then the wine and strong beer licenses. So we have to approve this early so it can get up to the state for final approval. So I would just request you approve this resolution.
Council, anything? And we need a resolution for 7.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 8 is a resolution certifying the results of the 2016 general election. Ann?
Yes, our canvassing board met last week, and we approved the results of the election. So this resolution would finalize the election results. We had about a 78% voter turnout here in Austin, so we had a high voter turnout. And I'd just like to thank all the election judges that worked the long day. We had about 80 election judges, and then we had a great group of high school students that helped too. So I would request you approve this resolution.
Okay, anything from the council? If not, we need a resolution.
So moved the resolution.
Is there-
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 9 is a resolution ordering a feasibility report on improvements for the 2017 street projects. Mr. Lang.
This is the first step in identifying our street reconstruction program for 2017. And we would request feasibility reports at this time for the following list of projects. We have 4th Avenue Northwest from 4th Street to 12th Street. A section of roadways including 1st Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, 4th Avenue, and 5th Avenue Northwest. That is a block of roadways in the, southwest. We also have Woodson School area, that's project number 3. That's a carryover from this year. We delayed that project to 2017. Fourth project on the list is 5th, 6th, and 7th Avenues Northwest. And then finally, item 5 is alley reconstruction. We'd recommend looking for council to request feasibility reports for those projects.
Council, anything? If not, we need a resolution for 9.
So move the resolution.
Is there a second? Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. Number 10 is resolution approving a variance request for the design of 4th Avenue Northwest. Mr. Lang.
In the engineering office, we've discussed some initial design options for 4th Avenue Northwest, and one of those would include a bike lane on each side of that roadway from 4th Street to 12th Street. So that'd pretty much go from St. A's Church out to the athletic field. The variance committee for MnDOT only meets quarterly, so they're meeting here in December. They don't meet again until March. So we're bringing this to you a little bit earlier than we normally would because we want to get a jump start on the project design. And we're requesting a variance from MnDOT to narrow the bike lanes from 5 feet wide to 4.5 feet wide, just to gain that extra half a foot on each side of the roadway. And we'll bring more information back to council as we talk about this project, as we bring forward the feasibility report. But we want to get jump started a little bit on this variance request to MnDOT.
Council? We need a resolution for 10. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 11 is a resolution approving a Turtle Creek DNR grant amendment. Stephen?
This is grant amendment number 3. It would be a 2-year extension to allow us to use these dollars for future berm projects along Turtle Creek and also flood property, miscellaneous property acquisition.
Council? We need a resolution.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 12 is a resolution accepting donations to the city of Austin. We need a resolution.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 13 is a resolution awarding a contract for IT, network, and phone systems at the Nature Center. Kim?
Thank you. Yes, we'd like the council to approve the bid from the phone station for the phone and IT out at the Nature Center. We had Luke and Don Tomlinson from the city working on that project so we could get the right information. It was a little sketchy at times trying to find that out. And we did learn today that we can take off the $640. They do not have to terminate the copper line. So our contract would be down to $18,290, and it is within our budget.
Council, we need a resolution.
So move the resolution.
Is there a second? Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 14 is a resolution approving change orders number 2 for Phase 2 of the Nature Center project. Kim, moving right along out there, aren't you?
Yes, we are. So this next change order is $21,375. I know that sounds a little large, but if you remember, we had an $8,325 deduct earlier, so the total project at this point is over the contract by $13,050. So I'd like the council to please approve this change order.
Okay, council, anything? If not, we need a resolution.
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordan.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 15 is a resolution approving a land lease agreement with the Canadian Pacific Railroad. Holly?
Mayor and council, we had an issue with Canadian Pacific Railway at their location at 101 11th Street Northeast, where they had encroached onto city property approximately 4,000 square feet, which they indicated they were unaware of. In order to resolve that issue, we developed a lease agreement for them. The property to the south is flood bio property, which is deed restricted. So we have a clause or provision in the lease that would terminate if the DNR, or if anyone who is involved with that sale objects to the use. Right now it would be used as a drive and parking area. The lease terms are substantially as follows. Canadian Pacific Railway would pay $1,771.55 per year in advance for leasing the area. They would be renewed annually with a 90-day notice to end the lease. Again, the area would be solely used for parking, ingress and egress, and storage, except in the floodplain areas. There should be a map attached to that shows these areas. Area outside where the leased area would be restored. There would be a fence on the southerly border to prevent further encroachment, and they would just maintain the premises.
Council, anything? If not, we need a resolution.
So move the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 16 is a motion approving a settlement agreement and authorizing payment for a release of claims. We need a motion.
I make a motion to authorize payment in the sum of $22,500 in exchange for a full and final release of all statutory claims involving Public Employees Retirement Association benefits relating to a former employee.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. 17 is a resolution declaring the property located at 904 13th Avenue Northeast a hazardous structure. Any questions on it? Otherwise, we need a resolution.
So moved.
Is there a Mr. Dankert.
Councilmember King.
Aye.
Austin.
Aye.
Jordahl.
Aye.
Hagan.
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye.
Enright.
Aye.
Councilmember Large Anderson.
Aye.
Resolution passes 7-0, Your Honor.
Thank you. 18 is two motions granting the Planning and Zoning Department the authorization to remove junk and/or illegally stored vehicles at A, 615 14th Street Northeast, the Johansson property. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Finally, 18B is 507 3rd Avenue Southeast, the Helfrich property. We need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any citizens present?
Addition.
Oh,
Already
we?
did it.
It
was
was
on
done
the
for.
consent.
We already did that,
included.
now I'm
It was in
sorry.
the consent.
Any citizens present tonight that want to address the council on any items? If not, we are to council reports. Jeremy, we'll start with you.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Nothing, Your Honor. Mike? Nothing, Your Honor. Janet?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Jeff?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Steve?
Nothing.
Judy?
Nothing.
Craig?
No, I believe Tom Dankert has something.
Tom?
Just two items. The first, thanks to the clerk's office, as Ann said, and to all the election judges for what we considered another flawless election from the standpoint of how it went down with the process procedure. And we got a lot of good comments from the few citizens I talked to regarding the city hall as being a polling place. It seemed to work out well. Then the second item is later this week, we will be uploading your truth and taxation document for the December 6th truth and taxation hearing. So it'll give you a couple weeks to look at that. If you have any questions, certainly give us a call on that.
Okay, is that it?
That's it.
If there's nothing further, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I think that's close to a record.